continuing our nonstop coverage of the manhunt underway here in the Boston area. A manhunt for a 19-year-old, Jahar Tsarnaev, the younger brother, one of these two suspects who allegedly was responsible for the bombing at the end of the Boston Marathon.
He took credit for that last night with a man that they hijacked him in his car.
And then they let that man go.
They let that man go, which is another very interesting small part of this story after assassinating a police officer.
Mike Sullivan is still with us, the former acting director of the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. He's here in Boston with us. It's pretty weird, and I know you're an expert on these kinds of areas. They go ahead and kill an MIT police officer. They wound another one. They hijack a car. And then they let the driver go after telling the driver, we were responsible for the bombings at the Boston Marathon.
Real no rhyme or reason with regard to the way that they just kill innocent people. And maybe that was their way of getting their message out that they were in fact responsible for the bombing.
And these bombs were described. I mean, they killed 3 people at the Boston Marathon. They injured almost 200 as supposedly the 2 bombs crude and a pressure cooker, if you will. Is that a fair description? You're a former head of the ATF.
Well, crude to the extent that there was nothing sophisticated about the bombs. They're pressure cooker bombs. You're, in fact, a lot like pipe bombs, except using a pressure cooker. It's packed with low-grade explosive material, and then having some type of detonating device, something that can initiate essentially the spark to the low-grade material, build up the gases, and then cause the explosion.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the contradiction between last night's behavior and today, where they seem completely discombobulated and out of control, didn't have money, had to hijack the car, versus how organized and planned they seem to be in the attack itself. They must have done run-through after run-through. Do you still think that they were planned and that they knew they were on video, all these things that we assumed yesterday, or is it possible that they just were so confident with their ideology that...
Likely the latter. Essentially, obviously, the planning of the bombings was pretty, probably significant.
Hold on one second.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
I guess we're going to go to Deb Ferrick. Is that right?
Tamerlan is almost 2
this
minutes.
is the
aunt.
Smart boy. Seemingly did not find himself yet in America, because it's not easy. And my younger brother, Ruslan, he had a very high expectations of him, because he was smart. He knows he could use his potential. But, since... And then when he found out that he dropped out of university, that was... Ruslan was desperate, because he always demands more of his children, of his nephews, especially Tamerlan is his favorite. So, as I said, study. Jahar is, he's a smart guy, studying well.
Can you tell us about when they came to the United States, where they had been living before that?
I brought them here. I was in the States going through my paperwork to immigrate to Canada.
When was that?
That was 2001. So then, in 2002, my older brother came to the States. That's when I filed out his paperwork myself for the refugee protection claim.
Your older brother?
Older brother, no. Then, in April of 2002, boy's father with his wife and little Jahar came to the States. That's when I filed a petition for their refugee status. Because Anzor, he back home, he also worked as